Good morning to all of you. Today we'll have a wonderful discussion, an informative discussion with our guest of the day, Monika Kacker, a renowned educational and consultant, teacher, facilitator, academic reviewer, content writer, and pan-India storyteller, and more. There's a long list. Madam, it is a great honor and privilege for us to have you with us. And with great respect and gratitude that I welcome you today to our session. I'm truly honored to have this opportunity to learn from your vast experience. Few days I have just gone through your experiences and it was vast. So a few of the snippets we would like to get from you. Some questions are there, and of course it will be a discussion kind. So before we begin, I'll like to know a little about you and your experience as an eminent educational consultant.
Right. So Soma ma'am, it's a privilege for me to be here sitting with you and chatting with you, because you yourself are so well known and so accomplished in your field. I'm a teacher at heart, 3 decades in this profession, but then I travel the whole world working on the pedagogy and what goes inside the classroom. And but teaching and teachers are my fraternity, and pedagogy is my passion.
That's your forte, actually.
That's my forte, passion, and children are very, very close to my heart.
Could you share what prompted your transition from being a teacher and then, to becoming a teacher's trainer?
Okay, so I'm an army wife. So, we are very nomadic in our lifestyle. And for the longest time that I know, I was a teacher. Wherever my husband got posted, I started working in the schools, where in India or abroad. So I worked in the nearest and the best school. And as I graduated as a teacher, even in the school ecosystem, we used to interact and we used to research and brainstorm on a lot of topics, how we can elevate and how we can work on the learning challenges that we find in the classroom.
Especially, did you ever think of, making it more child-centric from then on?
True.
Of course, now NEP and NCF is talking about the same thing, but I think you have already started long time back. It was a journey long time back that we had already brought that in the classroom. Now it has been given a tag and, a more elaborate way. But mainly you believed in child-based and activity-based learning beyond the text.
Absolutely. So I was very fortunate that, I got an opportunity to work in the most progressive schools of India. And also, I'm very passionate as a teacher, as a facilitator, and as a storyteller.
Shows your face is glowing up.
And then, the whole urge to reach out to every child in the classroom and to find tools and strategies with which we can lift the bottom half of the classroom.
The weaker section.
Yes.
I mean, the most of that was a challenge.
Now with the teacher training and building up integration through storytelling, it is no more limited to my profession. It is the air that I breathe. So it is...
And a social work, I would say.
I would, in fact, I would say. So it is like, it is everything for me.
Before I started that class, I remember I had shown them the Titanic video clipping, because privileged of being in a school where they had smart classes, bringing the world into the class, And suppose we taught debates or, speech. I used to let them see Shashi Tharoor speeches, Obama's speech. So that is the way, they could connect. So do you think it's the right way, to
Yes.
introduce the chapter or the lesson in that kind of theme?
Yeah. So it's a child-centric classroom. And we have to make the children believe in their uniqueness. And we have to make children believe that they can do it. And each one of us have these unique capacities wherein we can excel in our own field. So from the very childhood, if we address the needs of the 21st century learner, who are actually very smart, and we give them a hope, we give them a roadmap, we give them a future, we will actually get them to shine in the field that they feel very aligned to. And NEP 2020, NCF 22-23 is all saying the same thing, that teacher is like a facilitator, wherein she gives a lot of opportunities in the classroom to teach her content in different ways, so that she reaches out to everybody through different mediums and different styles.
As a project, I remember we had given that whenever you go to India Gate, being in Delhi, so whenever you have an ice cream, if there are kids all around the street urchins, make sure that you give at least 2 or 3 to them, and that really matters, because I remember one of my students, she went to Australia to become a doctor. And then during the COVID, she sent me pictures and said, ma'am, I remember the project of the Lost Spring. And here we, the doctors, trained doctors, we made sure that we reach out to 100 people. We prepared food and we distributed them, and I remembered you. So that was, that is actually what the teaching should be, which goes beyond the school premises when they're in the real world around.
True. And also, our need as a trainer, as a teacher, or as adults is to raise compassionate, empathetic children. So our classroom is not only children, but the future citizens of this country. So soon our country is going to be 100 years in 2047. So what is it that we want to achieve in those 100 years when we celebrate our country's birthday? We want to give adults. Today, India is the largest task force of the world. Meaning you go to any continent and you will find Indians. So what is the kind of citizens that we want to give it to the world? So we want our children who are compassionate, who are thinking, who are empathetic, who have very strong character, who know how to articulate their thoughts and put forward them, and who are big time critical thinkers.
Given a chance, it's a very simple question, but definitely you could change one thing about the education system that we have right now. What would that be and why?
So as I travel the country and I see that our teachers sometimes are very overworked, overloaded, overworked in the things which we can easily simplify. In the sense that we really have to shift our mindset from rote learning and from traditional way of, I'm not saying the traditional way was not good, but we have to blend it with the modern contemporary pedagogical styles. The children and teachers should have enough time for themselves to reflect, to think what is it that went well and what is it that they need to change. The students and teachers, both of them are learners in their own way, should have more time to reflect on their work. And they should have time to put their legs up and look at the ceiling and say, okay, I did well, and this is, I need a little more space to work on this. And there are challenges in the classroom, but how I wish the needs of all the learners should be catered for. When an NEP very strongly talks about inclusivity.
Yeah.
But I still see
it's not so
inclusivity is still not very beautifully understood in the classroom.
Why do you think the parents, and if you want to say something to the parents of today's children, I mean, who are quite hyper about marks and all, so what is your advice to the parents actually?
So my advice to the parents would be that you are a very important part of the ecosystem. And you're the strongest support system that a school has or your child has. And it's sad that we have a culture which is so marks driven. So
is it because of the competition that we have in the face?
It is because of the competition, but somebody should somewhere change this narrative. So if the parents take out time and take out the initiative to support what is taught in the classroom or what is done in the classroom, truly understand the methodology and give some time, undivided attention to the child at home also, it would be really very nice.
Reading is another thing that I think we should focus on, and of course, it's been taken care of. Before going to the text and explaining little silent reading, I think is a part of our
it's beautiful, starting from the early years where we have circle time and we have wordless books, and so why should we end a story with the same ending?
Yeah, they were given
a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. We had questions like,
yes.
What would you like to have as an ending? So the child gets that kind of an opportunity to write, like what.
And when we introduce our children to the books, it's like a world of words. So you take the child to that country. Suppose I'm reading a book on Japan, I get to know about their culture, about their clothes, about their personality, so much more. So I think in school and at home, reading should be mandatory, and we should give more opportunities to the child.
What drives you? What made you so unique? I mean, what is the driving force? I would like to know.
So when I was a very young mother, I regularly used to read bedtime stories to my boys. So one night I asked them, do you want to listen to a normal fairy tale or would you like to listen to Monika fairy tale? And they chose Monika's fairy tale. And that was the birth of a storyteller. From there, I started thinking, observing, writing short stories and started telling short stories in a very simple way. I understood that storytelling is so beautiful and you can say such complex things through a simple story. And I understood in my classroom situation, when I had to work on the children's habits or on their language or on a certain thing which was troubling me as a teacher in the classroom, when I ended my day with a story, it went off so well. So my profession is no more a profession now. It is absolutely passion. So with a capital P.
And I would just to add that I remember in one of the class 12 classes, I just wanted, because that day it was a last period, of course, everybody was, tired. So I said not to go through those, structured texts. So I said, okay, I give you one liner. Nobody was at home. Yeah. It was 2 o'clock. I was coming down to get water. Somebody tapped on my shoulder. I looked back and you wouldn't believe, Monika, 40 students wrote 40 different stories and they read it all. It was wonderful.
True.
When the expressions, they have everything, but we need to extract it from
you
them.
Should see how smart the learners
channelize them into the quality things rather than...
art is the language of the children. Stories are the language of the children. Meaning, if there is any challenge, and suppose a child has drawn something and colored it of any color, and what you see, and when you ask a child to explain the drawing, you will understand the entire mindset or a problem or a trauma that the child is going through. So art is not what you see on a piece of paper. It is so much more.
The artist knows well, it's like a Chinese art and European art we spoke about, we read about. So it's wonderful. We had a wonderful time.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is entirely mine.
Yeah, and I hope to have more of such sessions, which will definitely benefit a lot of people who are going to watch it. Okay, thank you so much, Monika, from the core of my heart. Thank you so much.